Barely anyone is getting hired.
Been told since I was 12 or 13 that if you get a degree in computer science, you'll get a job. I was looking for about a year.
So I was always told that the market for teachers was like huge, right? That's one of the main reasons why I decided to pursue elementary education. There's a lot of engineers, computer science, and business majors that are struggling right now.
They got 100,000 applications for 30 positions in less than 24 hours. Actually insane, actually fucking mind-boggling. And the even crazier part in all of this is the fact that apparently it was too expensive to actually look at all the applications. They didn't look at a single one throughout all the 100,000 applications they got, hired back the interns from that previous summer full-time.
Why even say y'all are hiring in the first place if y'all won't even take a second to look at my application?
No, yeah, it seriously sucks. You know, according to the Ludwig Institute for Shared Economic Property, the true rate of unemployment in the United States falls at 24.7% as of August 2025, where approximately 32% of them have bachelor's degrees or higher. That means about 82.5 million, a quarter of the US population, are unemployed, with 26.4 million of them having bachelor's degrees or higher. Yep, even if you beat the go to college expectations. To put it into perspective, a good chunk of these people have gone to college, spent thousands of dollars, time, and years to get their bachelor's or even master's degrees, and still struggle to land jobs that fit their experience levels, whether entry level or higher. Also, for those thinking, oh, maybe you just need to get your master's, the split between bachelor's and advanced degrees is only about 3%. So, yes, while it's true that people with advanced degrees are getting hired more, the difference is only by a slight margin statistically. Most of these individuals fall within the range of 16 to 24 at 10.5% according to the US Bureau of Labor as of August 2025. Now, this percentage may not seem like a lot, but to put it into a number, that's almost 8.6 million people struggling to look for mostly entry-level jobs. This is a problem as people who have full initiative to give their time and effort aren't given that opportunity despite their hard work. Additionally, it also means that not as many people are gaining incomes, which indicate deeper national consequences, God forbid, such as an economic recession. Yeah, no man, I, as many as all of you, are insanely appalled at this information. I could have sworn the millennial problem a decade ago was having people scream in your ear, why can't you just get a job? God, I mean, like, I wish we had those problems. Instead, it's, I gave years of my life to a field, paid boatloads of cash to educate myself, and can't even find an entry-level role. On top of that, nowadays, you'll see people applying to hundreds of positions and maybe hearing back from like 12 of them. I mean, like, the whole situation is absolutely insane. I myself am personally affected by it too, so we're kind of getting through this together, you know? I'm 23, God help me. And so, to shed some light on this terrible, terrible, terrible problem, we're gonna go over what is happening, why this is happening, when we can expect for it to get better naturally, and how we can mitigate all the problems as best as possible from our end. So without further ado, my name is Ronnie. This is my first video. Let's just hop right into it. Before getting into the job market's crash, it's important that we talk about the US mid-2000s housing bubble, which was basically the big unstable rise in housing prices, credit, and construction. Here, home prices more than doubled up until 2006, leading to the big burst, the economic recession of 2008. When this recession came, people began buying houses they couldn't really afford because banks were giving out easy loans. Next thing you know, people were losing money and as a result couldn't pay their house bills, leading to big banks and big companies suffering the same fate. From here, businesses had to cut spending and lay off workers. First, construction jobs evaporated as housing projects were abandoned, followed by manufacturing, retail, and service sectors. This was due to people not being able to afford cars, homes, and usual goods. By 2009, the US lost about 8.7 million jobs, or 7% of all employment. This was one of the steepest declines since the Great Depression. So a steady but long recovery came following mid-2009 all the way up until 2020, known as the, you guessed it, COVID-19 recession. See, the pandemic sucked. Bad. Not for me, though. I enjoyed it, personally. I'm a weirdo. Nah, it sucked pretty bad due to its closures in April 2020. The US lost about 20 million jobs. You know, people weren't laid off, they were held off from being able to work, mainly impacting in-person companies. So you may be wondering, okay, like, why the hell am I not getting hired? So it's important to first take a look at the psychological and sociological reasons behind the lack of hires. one big consideration is to understand which generations are experiencing success versus ones that are getting hit the hardest. In this chart, we see that baby boomers, Gen X, and millennials have the least amount of difficulty as they're currently the majority occupying the workforce. These age ranges typically fall from the ages of 30 to 60 years old. The two generations struggling, on the other hand, are Gen Z and the silent generation, basically ages 16 to 28 and ages 80 to 97 years old. However, it's important to note that most of the silent generation are either retired or physically incapable of work, leaving Gen Z to take most of the heat from unemployment. Alright, so let me take a quick pause for a minute to say that what I'm about to say right now might sound like kinda heated. It might piss some people off, but I promise this is no bias. These are all just statistics found in many national centers and cases. Now, when looking at the psychology of why it's so hard for Gen Z to get into the workforce, we should really think about why don't people want them? Is this a skill issue, or is there a deeper prejudice at bay here? Well, according to a survey done by Resume Builder, 782 US workers involved in the hiring processes for entry-level positions were inquired. Results showed that 31% of hiring managers say they avoid hiring Gen Z and would prefer to hire older workers.
Elder millennial.
So there is some bias here, but is it warranted? Well, hiring managers say this is because of Gen Zers asking for too much money, lacking communication, and not seeming engaged in their work. During interviews, 58% of hiring managers have found that Gen Zers don't dress appropriately and struggle with eye contact. Also, a whopping 60% of these hiring managers say that Gen Zers exhibit entitlement, with 26% of them saying that they're hard to manage. Yeah, no, kind of pain. We can see that there is a bit of a bias, as many Gen Zers don't meet those workplace expectations. So there is definitely some fault to those who've abused being in that good position of being able to hire people and being like, hey, I like you, I'm gonna give you an income. You get the hell out of my face. You know, we're arguing about who's right or wrong. It's more important to see that real injustice comes to those who've worked hard and are willing to continue working hard. You know, otherwise, how else are they going to get their lives on a personal and career level started? It's kind of like the teacher who, you know, when that one student is behaving wholeheartedly, punishes the whole class. Or we can say a few students in this case, to be fair to some of the hiring managers, because I don't doubt that a lot of them have had to deal with pretty problematic Gen Zers who've probably abused whatever, but I swear not all of us are like that, I promise. I'm not, at least please believe me, give me a chance, interview me. I'm sure many of you are wondering when this difficult job market will get better naturally. So, when will things improve? Well, the short answer is it's going to be gradual, and the timeline depends a lot on how certain economic factors play out. Here's what the data suggests. Analysts from Deloitte expect real consumer spending to grow about 2.1% in 2025, but that growth is projected to slow to around 1.4% in 2026. That cooling of demand means hiring is likely to remain weak near term. Forecasters surveyed by the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia project the U.S. unemployment rate will rise from about 4.2% now to about 4.5% in early 2026. Also, taking into account the August 2025 stall that we talked about, some commentators are even warning we may be in a phase of jobless growth. You know, even though GDP is rising modestly, employment growth is weak. So, when putting it together, what this means is don't expect a rapid rebound back to boom levels hiring overnight. The job market is likely to remain challenging throughout the remainder of 2025, and early 2026 may be rough too. And so that turning point likely comes later, when one or more of the following happens. Interest rates come down, business investment picks up, demand strengthens, or large new sectors open up. And so for my fellow job seekers, start preparing now so you can hit the market when the turn-up arrives. Mid to late 2026 may start showing clear improvement in hiring and opportunity, assuming the economy doesn't face a new shock. But by 2027 and beyond, job growth could look healthier, especially in growth sectors like tech, green energy, healthcare, and roles requiring higher skills. But, and there's a big but, this is the key, it will be uneven. Some sectors and groups, entry-level younger workers, will continue to face harder competition, while higher skill roles may bounce back sooner. But here's the thing. here's the thing. Just because the market is struggling does not mean in any way, shape, or form that you have to as well. If anything, this kind of environment separates the ones who wait from the ones who adapt. I mean, you can't control when companies decide to start hiring or not. What you can control is how you show up, what skills you need to build, and how you position yourself. Because this is where it's all about turning bias into opportunity, taking all the reasons hiring managers overlook people like you and flipping them right on their damn heads. So let's talk about what you can do right now to stand out and fight this horrid job market. While, unfortunately, many have to struggle with being cast out by the workforce unfairly, this is a perfect time for those struggling with the job market to stand out. Here are 3 ways to combat this. Number 1, fight the statistics. Instead of letting yourself become a statistic of why people aren't getting hired, be someone who defies them instead. For example, just going back to the statistics on why people didn't get hired, this would mean, dressing fairly, agreeing to a fair salary, building your communication skills, and genuinely seeming engaged and focused with what you're doing. Beggars can't be choosy, and we all have to start somewhere, even if it means not being as comfortable as you want to be. Number 2, build and demonstrate your skills. Many hiring managers love to see what you've done that makes you applicable, so if that isn't real experience, it can be things you can do now like certifications or project work. Get SEO and Google Ad certs. These certs are pretty important and they show that, hey, you know what, I can do my work and I do it pretty well, and here's the proof to show you. If you're in tech, for example, get CompTIA A+, Security Plus, and the CCNA certs. You could even build a mock app to show your capabilities. Really, there is no one right answer for every field, so do some research to find which skills, certifications, and projects would best benefit you. There are tons you can find on Udemy, HubSpot for free, and advice you can get from Reddit, or even just general information from one Google search. Finally, don't give up. In an economy where applications aren't ideal, you can always network, make connections, and have others help you get into the field you want. It doesn't matter what you do, just don't give up what you're doing, because unfortunately careers won't just come to you in this hard age. But I've seen a lot of people struggling with the job market get hired on a random Monday of any week. It just comes out of nowhere. I know. Even after hundreds of rejections and what have you, it's never the end. It just needs a little bit more, a tiny bit more. And I know these words of advice kind of suck to hear nowadays, but it's the truth. And I have more and more faith every day that people, especially the truly qualified and truly motivated people, whether you have a lot of experience or you don't, will end up finding a way to get their careers jump-started. So don't give up. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. This is my first video, so if you guys have any tips for me to do better, anything really, just let me know. At the end of the day, I love to yap and I love to research stuff, and this is pretty fun. So let me know what you guys like, if you guys want to hear anything else. I don't really do YouTube outros just because I think a lot of them are kind of cringe, but I will say it's been pretty fun, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.